but almost everyone with whom I spoke tonight said they came here because they want a better job. They didn't say they came here because they're facing persecution because of their race or their ethnicity or their political views, their religion. They want a better job. That's not grounds for asylum.
That was Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton revealing what border crossers told him about the real reason they're coming to America. He and 18 other senators visited the Rio Grande Valley last week to see the impact of Biden's immigration policy for themselves. What they experienced was devastating. This picture taken by North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis shows babies who were smuggled across the border by human traffickers. Just one of the perils facing these children each day this crisis continues. Wyoming Senator John Barrasso was among the senators on this border trip last weekend. He joins me now. Senator, thank you so much for being here. And you're not only a lawmaker, you're also a medical doctor. So I'm very interested in hearing your take. These migrants reportedly testing positive for COVID at a rate of 10%. Assess the public health threat for us, Senator.
Well, thank you, Maria, and happy Easter to you and to your viewers. You're right. This is both a humanitarian crisis and a national security crisis. I saw both at the border, and you may have seen the numbers today are the highest in history of unaccompanied minors currently in captivity. They are crammed in like sardines, and this is what the Biden administration is trying to hide from the American public, which is why we took video and the Biden administration tried to stop us. When you put this many people in captivity in this sort of way, and 10% of them are testing positive for coronavirus, Joe Biden is turning into the super spreader of coronavirus in our country.
This is unbelievable, Senator. So I was told that some of you had taken pictures and then the border officials there or Biden handlers forced you to delete the pictures from your camera. Were you part of that?
Well, we were told to delete the pictures. No one did. You've seen the video coming out of all of these kids crammed together under the foil blankets, huddling together. And when you have 10% of them who are positive already, and I watched them be tested for coronavirus. They had them in a courtyard. All of these young people, this is after they have been there. They're only allowed to be there for 3 days by law. You wouldn't want your own kids to be there for 3 minutes, but many are staying there for up to 10 days. They're being tested the day that they leave. We put them all in the courtyard. They do the instant test. And then those that have been tested positive are just kind of moved to one side of the courtroom, those negative to the other of this courtyard. But I will tell you, Maria, they've all been exposed, and then they're sent all across the country. You know, that is the real tragedy of this, and we're not sure what variant of the coronavirus they're carrying. They are carrying it, though, all around America. They're not being quarantined. Every one of them ought to be quarantined.
That's unbelievable. And how does that help by testing them after they've been there a few days? At that point, they've already given it to others. Senator, I want to get your take on the broader agenda as well, especially H.R. 1. You are in the leadership position in the Senate. I want your take on H.R. 1 as Democrats are setting their sights on eliminating the filibuster as well. A lot to talk about with you, including that trillion-dollar spending package, multi-trillion-dollar spending package. Stay with us. Quick break and then more with Senator John Barrasso. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are talking this morning with Wyoming Senator John Barrasso, Republican Conference Chairman and a member of the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations. Senator, we're just talking about the border crisis and the disaster. There are reports that many migrants are being released into the interior of our country without a court date. I want to get your take on that. Also, Senator Ron Johnson told me that in one sector, there was 40,000 quote-unquote gotaways. They got away since Biden took office. The irony here is that we're hearing a lot about Joe Biden wanting vaccine passports to prove that people have vaccines. Meanwhile, the border crossers, they don't even require ID. We don't know who they are, where they're coming from, what their background is.
The easiest way to get into the United States today is to do it illegally. You don't have to show proof of anything, and they'll allow you into the country. That is the Biden policy. You know, you talk to the Border Patrol agents. We did a midnight patrol. They will tell you their job got a lot harder when Joe Biden became president. Only 1 in 3 of them is actually on the ground trying to enforce the laws, because 2/3 of them are involved in either providing daycare or escorts to the migrants who are being shown by signs on the ground where to go to turn themselves in. The Border Patrol talked to the transition team from the Biden administration before they came into office. They said, if you eliminate this program that worked, that President Trump put in place, the Remain in Mexico program, we are going to have a massive humanitarian crisis at the border. The Biden administration ignored them, and that's what we have now. Highest numbers of all times coming into the country illegally, no identification, carrying who knows how many diseases, but certainly high percentage with coronavirus that they're then taking all across the country.
Yeah, and you mentioned we don't know what variant it is. We're going to talk with Peter Navarro coming up because there is a dangerous variant from Brazil here now. You wonder how that got here. Maybe the border. We'll talk with him about it. But let's broaden out here because this migration story, immigration, is just one of the policies that has obviously become a real radical agenda. The Democrats are pushing H.R. 1, this election bill. They are also trying to overturn the filibuster. You're there on the front lines. Tell us how likely these things are.
Well, it is the Democrats' #1 priority. That's why they've named it Bill #1. People know what they want with elections. You want fair elections. You want it to be free from voter fraud. I mean, that's the cornerstone of American democracy. You want to make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. The Democrats in their bill are making it very easy to cheat. And let me give you a couple of quick examples. #1 is they ban voter ID so that when people go to vote, they're not allowed to be asked to verify who they really are. The other is they allow the ballot harvesting, paid political operatives who can go out and collect hundreds, thousands of ballots going door to door, going to housing projects, going to nursing homes. And then they get to decide, these are not observed, they can then decide which ones they want to turn in and which ballots they choose to destroy. That's wrong. And then they're going to have the public, taxpayers, pay for elections. So taxpayers are going to be forced to pay for campaign ads and websites, campaign signs for candidates that they may oppose. And Maria, this is an 880-page bill. What I just described is just the tip of the iceberg. This is what Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are trying to foist on the American people. The only way they can do this is to eliminate the 60-vote threshold, the filibuster in the United States Senate, and cram this through on party line voting.
Can they do that? Will they eliminate the filibuster? And by the way, once they get the filibuster out of the way, they could also pack the Supreme Court, put 4 more liberals in there, and then there's no debate at all.
Well, the 2 Democrat senators, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, have both said they are going to stay with Republicans in terms of protecting the filibuster. You know, the Democrats were all for the filibuster before they were against it. But the reason they flip-flopped is exactly what you just said, so they could cram things through along party lines. And those 2 senators are going to come under immense pressure. This filibuster, this 60-vote threshold has been in place over 150 years because one party is not supposed to be able to steamroll the other. We're supposed to find bipartisan solutions to move the country forward. We have a 50-50 Senate. That ought to be a mandate to move to the middle. You know, Joe Biden was for the filibuster when he was in the Senate. He's given speeches to that effect. 33 Democrat senators signed a letter when President Trump was in office and the Republicans were in the majority that said, oh, no, do not eliminate the filibuster. It's important that we work together to find solutions. The Democrats are trying to throw that all out so that they can go forward with a radical, extreme, dangerous, and scary agenda for our country.
It's unbelievable. I want to say, wow, what dirty tricks, but it's so much bigger than just dirty tricks. This will impact every American. And these are really dangerous ideas. Senator, thanks very much. Really well said. You explained it to our audience so well, and we so appreciate it. Come back soon, sir. Thank you.
Sure will. Thank you, Maria.